It always starts with the silence. The kind that doesn't just make you notice how quiet everything is, but makes you realize you're being watched. Schools are supposed to be safe places, filled with laughter, echoes of sneakers on tile, and whispers behind textbooks. But when a lockdown is called, the atmosphere shifts. The hallways grow colder, the classrooms heavier, and every sound feels like a threat. These are three true stories of students who experienced something far more terrifying than a drill, moments that left them changed forever. It was a Friday afternoon at Jefferson High, almost time for dismissal. Sarah, a sophomore, was packing her bag when the loudspeaker crackled. "Attention staff and students, we are going into immediate lockdown." This is not a drill. The room froze. Desks screeched quietly as students ducked under them. The teacher locked the door, turned off the lights, and motioned for silence. Sarah's heart pounded in her ears. Minutes crawled by, but then came the sound. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, echoing down the empty hallway. Heavy boots. They didn't sound like the principal or the custodian. These footsteps were dragging, uneven. Someone stopped right outside their classroom. Sarah held her breath, pressing her face against her backpack. She could see the faint shadow of movement under the door. A hand jiggled the locked handle. Then a whisper. "Let me in. I know you're in there." The class nearly gasped, but the teacher held up a trembling finger to his lips. The whispering grew louder, then turned into a low laugh that sent chills up Sarah's spine. And then silence. For 20 minutes, nothing. Finally, the all clear came. Police later explained there had been a suspicious figure inside the school, but they never caught him. To this day, Sarah swears the voice wasn't just human. It was something darker. Something that didn't want to break in to hurt them. It wanted them to open the door willingly. Marcus was a senior basketball player, stuck in after-school practice when the lockdown alarm blared. The team hurried into the gym's equipment closet. Dark, cramped, smelling of sweat and old rubber. Coach locked the door. The boys huddled in silence, but Marcus noticed something odd. Through the slats of the closet door, he could see the empty gym floor. Except it wasn't empty. A tall, thin shadow stretched across the polished wood, even though no one was there. It moved like a figure walking, its outline bending unnaturally with each step. The shadow glided toward the closet. Marcus whispered, "Coach, someone's out there." But when Coach peeked through the door, he saw nothing. Just silence. The shadow disappeared. Then, thump. A basketball rolled slowly across the gym floor, bouncing once, twice, before stopping right in front of the closet. No one had touched it. The boys stayed hidden for over an hour, listening to faint squeaks of sneakers on the court, though no players were there. When the police gave the all clear, the gym was completely empty. But Marcus swears that as they left, he glanced back at the closet door and saw a handprint burned into the wood. Long fingers, too long to belong to any human. Lena's school was old. With a basement level, no student was allowed to enter. During a sudden lockdown, her class was herded into the basement stairwell for safety. The teacher tried to keep everyone calm, but the dimly lit space reeked of mold and dust. At the end of the stairwell, there was a rusted metal door. It had been locked for decades. But as the students sat in silence, the lock began to rattle. Clink, clink, clink. Lena gripped her best friend's hand. "Someone's down there." The teacher whispered for everyone to stay calm. But then, the door began to bend inward, as if something was pushing from the other side. Dust rained down from the ceiling, and a deep, guttural growl echoed through the stairwell. Suddenly, the loudspeaker announced the lockdown was lifted. The rattling stopped. The door went still. Everyone rushed out, shaken but alive. Later that week, Lena did some digging in the school library. She found an old newspaper clipping from 1974. A fire had killed a janitor who worked in the basement. Some students swore his spirit never left, and during every lockdown, when the halls grew silent, He tried to claw his way back into the school. Lockdowns are meant to protect us from danger. But sometimes, the real danger isn't outside. It's already in the halls, waiting for the silence, the fear, and the darkness. These three stories remind us of something chilling: safety is never guaranteed. But they also show the strength of students and teachers, the courage to stay quiet, stay calm, and protect each other, even when terror is only inches away. So next time the announcement comes over the loudspeaker, remember, sometimes what's outside the door isn't what you should fear most. Sometimes it's what's already inside.